Vegeta has a new transformation. Does it look like he's become the god of destruction? Let's dig into it. Hey everyone, so glad to see you guys again. It's been a month. I've been looking forward to this next chapter. We know that Vegeta was going to be facing up against Granolah, and Vegeta looked very prepared for this moment. But as of right now, we also know that Granolah is the strongest in the universe. So what was Vegeta going to do? Was he going to unleash something that we haven't seen before that would also help bridge the gap between Goku and Vegeta? Because as we know, Vegeta right now was no match for Goku in his Ultra Instinct form. So was there something coming that we weren't aware of since he was spending all this time training with Beerus? One thing that I noticed immediately about the chapter though was Vegeta's restraints, because he didn't just immediately go on the offense. He did spend some time to maybe give Granolah a chance, saying, maybe we don't have to do this. He does stipulate that he was just a kid when Frieza's army came and just devoured Granolah's planet. This is kind of one of the tragedies of war, and how, you know, an eye for an eye doesn't really ever work, and it's just a never-ending bloody mess until finally someone says enough's enough and you come to some kind of agreement. So that's what's unfortunately awful about war, and this is one of those moments exactly like that where Granolah is just so full of rage, he's not thinking clearly. He just wants revenge on anybody, but he doesn't care how he gets it, and he doesn't care if the people that he's killing in the moment are also innocent. Because in his eyes, as long as you are that race, you are all terrible. So Vegeta gave him that one last chance, but to be fair, Vegeta didn't really spend too much time on it. He decided, he's like, you know what? I gave you a chance. I'm gonna go all out now. So Vegeta powers up to his Super Saiyan Blue form. Immediately, we noticed that was no match for Granolah. But we already knew that was probably going to be the case because it didn't work for Goku either. And Goku even combining Ultra Instinct with Super Saiyan Blue was still not something that was really holding a candle to Granolah. So Blue on its own was clearly not going to be something that was going to be enough. And sure enough, it wasn't, because he was just getting stomped throughout this entire fight. But Vegeta had a plan, which is very unlike Vegeta. He usually kind of goes in head first, not really thinking the situation through. And he's usually the one that's the cocky one. But in this case, Granolah was the cocky one. Granolah just kept over and over again stating just how powerful he is. He's the greatest in the universe. And I'm wondering if Vegeta was kind of looking at that like, is that what I sound like when I'm on the other end of this? I think Vegeta was kind of having a moment where he was just noticing that this was an eye-opener for him. And so now he's seeing things more clearly, and he has a plan, and he's using all of those years of experience to help him fulfill this plan. So he's not just going in to showcase just how strong he is. In fact, Vegeta even mentions he is not as strong as Granolah, but he's going to utilize his strengths, which is his fighting experience, to overcome Granolah. And as time goes on, Vegeta keeps saying this to Granolah, but Granolah is not really paying attention, I guess, because he's just so full of himself at the moment. But this is probably going to be the thing that really is the downfall to Granolah here. This is another chapter where Toyotaro didn't fill a lot of dialogue into the span of the chapter, which I'm a bit disappointed in again, because again, we're only getting these once a month. So the dialogue was pretty lacking, and we do get a lot of fighting panels again, which again, I love the fighting panels. They look gorgeous. I think Toyotaro does a really great job with how he displays the characters, the way they fight. I do love all the fight choreography he does, but I feel like a lot of that is better spent in the animation department, not so much from manga panels, just because in manga, you really want to spend that time developing the story. So if you waste a lot of pages after pages of just beautiful art, you tend to just blow through the chapter real quick, and you're doing a lot of work for a lot less story, in my opinion. But we at least get to see some really good back and forths of Granolah and Vegeta. We can see that Vegeta is getting more and more confident that he's getting stronger and being able to time Granolah. Oh, one more thing. Granolah's scouter actually mentions it doesn't think that Vegeta actually is the villain, and believes that Vegeta is not there to hurt anybody, just the same way that they believed Goku wasn't there to hurt anybody. But Granolah kind of just takes this as a side note and doesn't really want to listen, and just progresses again with the fact that he needs to kill all Saiyans. So Vegeta takes a moment that really stood out to me, and Vegeta says, I admit it. At the moment, your strength and techniques surpass my own, but I'm still going to win. And Vegeta is simply stating what he mentioned earlier. His experience is going to overcome Granolah. He also notices, just for the sheer power that Granolah has, his techniques, the way he's utilizing and the way he's fighting is not matching the power that he has. Meaning that Vegeta knows that Granolah doesn't have a lot of fighting experience under him. So even though he's got all this power, he doesn't have the skill to utilize it. So we do get a couple panels of Goku waking up and he's in a lot of pain. But this just gives us that moment to realize that Goku gets to see Vegeta taking on Granolah on his own. I do like the one panel though, because Goku says, "Vegeta, join the fight," which is just a Super Smash Bros. Reference to me. So we also get to see that Granolah is not even taking into account that he's destroying his own planet, Planet Cereal. He's destroying everything in its path, and Vegeta calls him out on it. But the one thing that was consistent throughout this entire fight so far is that Vegeta, despite getting banged up, beaten up, he's still keeping a cool level head, which again is very unlike Vegeta. We know against Cell and other villains of the past, as soon as Vegeta's losing, he starts to lose his cool and just starts to become more animalistic in his fighting approach until he eventually just loses and needs Goku to save the day. But that doesn't seem to be happening here at all. He confirms with Granolah that he is correct. Granolah doesn't have the fighting experience. In fact, Granolah was kind of using it as a way to prop himself up, saying, "I don't need it because of how strong I am." But Vegeta is about to show Granolah why that may not be enough and why fighting experience will trump power any day. And also on that note, I am so happy to see Dragon Ball kind of taking this approach, because everything Vegeta said prior to this is technically not true. Power in Dragon Ball trumps experience every time. Anyone who's weaker can't take on the more powerful opponent. We've seen it. We've seen it so many times. Now, that may not be the case as long as the powers are in the relative ballpark similar. But if it's on another scale entirely, then you're never going to see a character like Krillin beat Vegeta or Tien beat Jiren. But then you do get those cool moments, which is, I know, only Manga, but Roshi taking on Jiren. And yes, he didn't hurt Jiren, but he was able to utilize his skills and techniques to show just how hard it would be to hit him and take a moment and catch him off guard. Yeah, I know people will say that Jiren was holding back, and he probably was. But again, this is just Roshi utilizing that moment in time to really showcase himself. Vegeta's killing it with lines this chapter, because he also says, "That's the great thing about a battle. The outcome is never quite set in stone. It's exactly what I love about fighting." Then he mentions, here's another tidbit: strongest, second strongest, rankings are well and good, but they only reflect a moment in time. Once that moment has passed by, it's nothing but history. Take me, for instance. I'm already stronger than I was a few minutes ago. I've grown more and more powerful throughout this dance of ours. And that's saying a lot about Vegeta, because again, throughout the fight, he has kept a cool level head. He is looking at the long run here, and he knows his path to victory, and he's going to take it. Now, Granolah is using some intelligence himself, because he decides to say, you know what, maybe this is enough, and I'll just end you now. And he does a 3-finger stab to Vegeta's gut. Now, Vegeta does hold back a little bit, so it doesn't penetrate him completely, but this kind of gets Vegeta riled up. And so we get this really cool panel of Vegeta just looking savage. And Vegeta again says, "This feeling, it's been ages. There's no planet to protect, no people to save. Just me immersed in battle. My happy place. Just the thing to get a battle-crazed Saiyan's blood pumping." I'm not gonna lie, like I've already stated, Vegeta's killing it with the lines right now. He is really enjoying his moment here. And I don't know about you, but what we've seen time and time again, Vegeta gets pumped up only for us to get incredibly disappointed in the fact that he's just not going to win in the end. But I don't think that's going to happen this time. I truly think this is going to be Vegeta's moment here. Goku can't help Vegeta right now. Goku's way too banged up. So this is truly going to have to be on Vegeta to take this on. And so we get to see Vegeta start powering up, and inevitably he unleashes a new form. We don't have the name of it yet, but take a look at this form. Doesn't it remind you of something? It reminds me of Super Saiyan 3. The entire head design looks exactly like Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And this kind of put me off for a minute, but let's look at the pros and cons. I'm not a huge fan of the Super Saiyan 3 design. I do actually like the super long hair, and even though he doesn't have any eyebrows, it kind of offsets in the sense of the long hair kind of takes away from the face, so you're less disturbed by it in a sense. But here, Vegeta has just his normal hair. It looks like the Super Saiyan 2 hair or the Super Saiyan Blue hair. They're all relatively the same. It's very sharp and pointy, but the thing that changes is his face design. And the forehead is really prominent in the shot. But the other thing I noticed is just the design entirely. It kind of looks like Ultra Super Saiyan. So it's taking tidbits of all the prior forms in a sense. He looks like Ultra Super Saiyan, but also Super Saiyan 3. So he's got the muscle build of Ultra Super Saiyan, the face of Super Saiyan 3, and then just his normal Super Saiyan 2 looking hair. Now, we only have the manga panels right now, so it's in black and white, but from what I've gathered, it looks like the hair color itself is going to be some kind of shade of purple, which I'm pretty down with. I do like purple, as you can see behind me. So I think that's going to be a really cool design. And at first I was kind of not sure how I felt about it, but the more I look at it, the more and more I actually really enjoy it because it gives it this really primal look. And I think that's really fitting for the God of Destruction. You want the God of Destruction to be that more primal instinct type of person, which really fits Vegeta's character because that's kind of who he is. So you'll have Goku, who's the more tranquil, relaxed type of character. Then you're gonna have a more raw, primal, destructive Vegeta, which goes perfectly with the God of Destruction. And I do love the final line that Vegeta gives in this chapter. He says, "A God of Destruction taught me that power derived solely from instinct is unbounded." I'm loving that. I think Vegeta, again, showing himself here that he has grown a lot as a character. He's really showing that he is someone different than he was before. And I'm loving all of it. I can't wait for the next chapter to see exactly what Vegeta's planning to do here. And I can't wait to see just his power set being unleashed against Granolah. I am also curious to see, is Goku going to do anything? I personally don't think so. I think he is just going to be on the sidelines for this one to really let Vegeta have his moment. But I also don't think Granolah is going to die. I don't think Vegeta is going to kill him. I think what's going to happen as the fight keeps progressing, Vegeta is going to be showing that he is the superior fighter. But I do think that Granolah is going to realize that they aren't the enemies and someone else is actually behind all of this pulling the strings to really rile up Granolah. And I think that's going to be a real tragic moment that people that he not really called friends, but just really the only people he had. And they were taking advantage of him, and now he's only going to live a very short life. But on that note, I can't wait to see what happens next chapter. I want to see Vegeta go all out against Granolah and showcase why he is currently the strongest in the universe. But Vegeta also said it best himself. It only matters in the moment, because after that moment, it's history. So I want to know, what did you think about the chapter? How did you feel about Vegeta's form? Do you like it? Are you kind of indifferent by it? What is it about it that you don't like? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. But that's going to be it for this one. If you enjoyed this, definitely consider subscribing. Hitting the like button helps me a lot. And of course, hit the notification bell to be notified when I drop my next video, which I'm working on right now and should be released in the next few days. So definitely don't want to miss that. But that's it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one.